The cornerstone of a society, which is to govern itself, is a well-educated population. Furthermore, it is knowledge and understanding which frees the individual from being helplessly and unwittingly dominated by governing power structures and empowers him or her to participate in the coordination of human affairs and to contribute to societal progress. In the current socio-economic paradigm, educational institutions, often administered and financed by the governmental sector, serve to train the population for specific occupations in order for them to earn an income and for society to produce goods and services. While it is in the interest of those in power to give rise to skilled laborers, a thoroughly educated populace is far less susceptible to manipulation. This is why those in power have throughout history gone to great lengths monopolizing knowledge and understanding and successfully inhibiting the education of the masses. Today, this is achieved through manipulative media, an educational system which aims to teach young people what to think rather than how to think, and foremost, hyperspecialization. A human being's perception and comprehension of its surroundings is constricted by its experience and knowledge. The more knowledge and understanding an individual has about the natural world in all of the synergetic fields, including mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, psychology, sociology, and philosophy, the more thoroughly and holistically he or she can comprehend the functionality of a complex societal construct and realize its effects on humanity. Therefore, in order to have a powerful population which can shape society and have a significant positive influence on its structure, humanity needs to be educated as generalists. This is not to say members of a society shouldn't focus their time and energy on their specific field of interest. Due to the vast amount of knowledge mankind has accumulated over the last few decades, it is virtually impossible to become an expert in every field. However, considering the synergistic nature of the cosmos, it becomes evident that without a general understanding of the way in which the universe functions, there is no such thing as expertise. Moreover, the understanding of the natural world should not be restricted to scientists and engineers. After all, without this knowledge, how can we expect the general population to make reasonable decisions and constructively contribute to society? By sustaining an economy with an educational system that ensures that everyone is academically and professionally highly specialized, the population is kept divided in their understanding and is fragmented into contradicting interest groups and therefore remains powerless. This division makes it much easier for power structures to conquer a population and maintain control. The goal of educational institutions today is to prepare individuals for an array of occupations, rather than lift humans to their highest potential and in turn create a population of intelligent problem solvers. The totality of human knowledge and understanding forms the pool of knowledge, which has increased exponentially over the century. This development is due to the fact that new technology and understanding of the natural world tend to enable further discoveries. While the pool of knowledge dictates the maximum level of education of any individual at any given time, it allows no statement on the education of the general population. It is simply a collection of the entire knowledge and understanding known to or documented by humanity. To describe the level of education of humanity as a whole, one needs to assess the educational spectrum. The educational spectrum describes the fraction of total knowledge which is available in a specific distribution to the population. Availability being defined by not simply being able to access information, but also being able to comprehend it. The pool of knowledge and the educational spectrum are strongly interdependent. The pool of knowledge defines the maximum of the educational spectrum, and the higher the average knowledge is located on the educational spectrum, the bigger the contribution to the pool of knowledge. The educational spectrum does not simply describe the average availability of knowledge to the population, but also the way in which this knowledge is distributed. The goal of a progressive society should be to maximize the level of education throughout the populace. The more members of a society are enabled through understanding to contribute to societal progress, the more efficiently society can be focused to satisfy the needs of humanity as a whole. However, the educational paradigm dominant throughout the world today rather focuses on the education of the intellectual elite and disregards the promotion of those less educated. The active filtering of those which perform well in today's educational paradigm starts in school and continues throughout the various educational institutions which follow. Instead of focusing intensely on individuals with lower performance levels in order to raise their potential, they are regarded by our educational system as not worth investing in. This greatly stratifies social mobility and fixes the distribution of the educational spectrum. A number of variables greatly affect the availability of the pool of knowledge and therefore the educational spectrum. Positive influences are, for instance, the accessibility of information through technology, such as the internet and other media. The quality of such media are of course of great importance, as they may also be used to misinform the public. Besides the quality and accessibility of educational institutions, the attitude of the population towards education is of great relevance. In a progressive society, education has to be considered as one of mankind's highest priorities. Unfortunately, this is not the case today. Although many know of the importance of education, very few incorporate this understanding in their lives. Monetary success, materialism, and superficialities are of far greater value in society than knowledge and understanding. Such values are continuously reinforced by mainstream media and advertising, which present a concentrated, exaggerated, and distilled form of the cultural norm. Such media has a strong negative effect on the perception of the importance of education through the manipulation of social values. This trend is highly beneficial for power structures whose influence depends on keeping the population powerless by maintaining an overall low educational spectrum. By simply tuning in to mainstream media or analyzing prominent topics of everyday conversation, the depressed state of our educational spectrum becomes evident. The interest of the average individual in relatively irrelevant subjects, such as sport tournaments, the personal activities of prominent individuals, or fashion trends, is far greater than the interest in topics relevant towards shaping the natural world and human affairs, such as natural sciences or the functioning of the socio-economic paradigm. As long as society doesn't refocus its concern and therefore educates itself on such important issues, reshaping its value system in the process, it won't be able to free itself from the mental shackles which enable the continuity of destructive social constructs.